Welcome to another edition of Straight Shooting Sports Talk, and I'm your host, Dujane Bland, and we bring to you today our Redskins edition of the show. And boy, what a week. The Redskins had an opportunity to get rejuvenated, get rested, get guys healthy. Mike Shanahan and company had 14 days to prepare for Sunday night's matchup. Now, we were able to get a win against the Oakland Raiders, and it was time to build off of that momentum they were able to grab before the bye week and take advantage of it against a Dallas Cowboy football team that really is struggling on the defensive side of the ball. Well, 14 days later, and Sunday night, and the weak spot of this football team, special teams, let them down, and let them down in a huge way. First, we have an 86-yard kick return for a touchdown, then followed by a 90-yard kick return, setting them up for an easy score. Hence, putting the Redskins in another loss, 31-16 to the Dallas Cowboys at AT&T Stadium. Now, most are wondering what in the world is wrong with the Washington Redskins. Well, there's a few things that are wrong, some of which we will discuss in another show. But it's quite embarrassing that this elite or alleged elite coaching staff led by Mike Shanahan had that much time to prepare for the Dallas Cowboys, and you poop out that turd at AT&T Stadium. Quite embarrassing. That's what you came up with. Because let's be frank, the defense did their job in holding that Cowboys team in minimal yards, minimal offensive touchdowns. Now, you can talk about some of the touchdowns that were let in the red zone, but let the truth be told that the undisciplined nature of this football team with turnovers and penalties once again hinder the defense from being able to save the offense from itself. Now, we are in another year, coming off of a 10-6 year. We expect better things because Mike Shanahan is supposed to be that guy. And yet, year after year, we continue to be the most undisciplined football team out there on the football field. Last, on Sunday night, 12 penalties for 80 yards. Unacceptable. Again, Robert Griffin III turns the ball over in a critical situation in the red zone, setting the Cowboys up for another touchdown, which they were able to get. So the question is, what do we do? Where do we go from here? Well, it doesn't get any better, folks. It doesn't get any better because the road gets tougher and tougher. When we look down the road in this week's matchup, the Chicago Bears come to town. Very scary football team. Jay Cutler, I think, is playing best as we've ever seen him play as a Bear. He looks very comfortable. They're not perfect, but they are scoring points, and he's moving the ball down the field. Matt Forte getting the job done out of the backfield, whether it be running or passing. Now, I believe that this Redskins football team can handle them on the defensive side of the ball and give the offense an opportunity. But I'm here to tell you that the Washington Redskins will not win this football game. Why? Because I'm going to tell you that the lack of discipline on this football team does not change overnight. It hasn't changed since Mike Shanahan has been the coach. Look at the stats. They speak for themselves. Special teams, horrendous. Mike Shanahan says, well, we are going to address that this week. You should have been addressing it week 1. We've seen this catastrophe coming down the pipe for weeks now, and it reared its ugly head in the biggest game in Redskins Nation. So yes, we will be at home. I expect Robert Griffin to continue to take steps to improve. He looked well in Dallas. I think he'll look very good here this weekend, but it's not going to be enough. Kyle Shanahan, get your head out your butt. My producer doesn't like me to rant, but I'm going to rant on this one. Kyle Shanahan has to stop doing this pass-happy offense. I don't know if you guys are familiar with his work in Houston, but if you look at his work in Houston, same thing is going on here. We run the ball for a little bit, and we just pass. And I understand some people are going to say, oh, we were behind last week. We weren't behind enough to be out of the game, not against that defense. And there was a lot of things that were working against the defense that Kyle just kept getting away from. And have you noticed that we get away from the run like in every game, and then we want to use the excuse that, oh, we're behind. We're so far behind. Well, we're not that far behind in football games. Kyle Shanahan has to get his head out of his behind. As a matter of fact, his whole entire coaching staff has to get the head out of behind. I'm tired of hearing players have to step up and show accountability because it was our fault. No. Preparation is terrible. And you had 14 days to prepare for Dallas Cowboys, and that's what you come up with. I don't expect anything different this weekend. We'll hang in there. We'll make it look respectable. And we'll lose because special teams, penalties, and turnovers will continue to kill this football team. If you don't turn it around, Mike Shanahan, this weekend, DC will be out with pitchforks and torches ready to have your head. And quite frankly, with your record of 22 and 30 something, 31, I believe it is. I know it's under 500. They have every right to put your head on the platter. So we'll see, fellas. But I'm not picking the Redskins in this one. I'm taking the Chicago Bears. Well, I hope you guys enjoy the game, no matter the outcome. We thank you for watching this edition of Straight Shooting Sports Talk. If you have something you'd like for us to discuss on this show, please feel free to shoot us an email to straightshootingst@gmail.com. And we'll be sure to discuss it on this show, this Redskins edition of the show. As always, subscribe to this show. That's how you stay locked in. That's how you know when new episodes of the Redskins edition of Straight Shooting Sports Talk will be posted. Again, we thank you so much for watching Straight Shooting Sports Talk.